There is someone who feels an intense, almost overwhelming love for you, yet circumstances make this connection feel impossible. So pause for a moment and allow yourself to become still. Take a slow breath, close your eyes if you can, and let the noise around you fade. If this message has reached you at this particular moment, perhaps it speaks to something you have already been feeling deep inside. There is a person you cannot completely remove from your thoughts. Maybe their face appeared in your mind instantly, or perhaps their name is one you rarely speak but somehow keep carrying with you. Whatever the situation may be, you have probably questioned whether this connection is real or whether you have simply been reading too much into it. But what you feel has affected you deeply. There is a reason this person continues to occupy such a powerful place in your mind. This is not necessarily an ordinary attraction or passing interest. There is emotional weight here, and the circumstances surrounding it may be complicated enough to make the entire connection feel off-limits. Something stands between you. It could be another relationship, marriage, family expectations, cultural or religious differences, distance, work, or simply a situation neither of you knows how to change. The important thing is that the obstacle is real, and it has created a painful space between two people who may feel far more than they are willing to admit. The first truth you need to understand is that silence does not always mean the absence of emotion. Sometimes silence is created because the feelings are stronger than the person knows how to handle. Think about the individual you have in mind. From the outside, they may appear completely composed. They may continue with work, responsibilities, family, and everyday life as though nothing has changed. But beneath that calm appearance, they could be wrestling with emotions they have never experienced before. They may repeatedly try to redirect their attention, convince themselves that they should move on or focus on the life they are already committed to. Yet memories of you keep returning. A song, a familiar expression, a place, a photograph, or even a random moment can suddenly bring you back into their thoughts. This can create a painful pattern of moving closer emotionally and then pulling away physically. When they seem distant, they may be trying to regain control. When they suddenly appear warmer or more attentive, those suppressed emotions may be breaking through. They are not necessarily fighting against you. They are fighting against what they feel inside themselves. Every desire to contact you may be followed by a reason not to. Every impulse to get closer may collide with the consequences they fear. That inner conflict can become exhausting. They may believe that keeping their distance is the responsible thing to do, because allowing the connection to grow could disrupt everything they have built. You may represent a possibility they never expected, a different life, or even a part of themselves they have kept hidden for years. That is why their behavior can feel so confusing. Their heart may pull in one direction, while their responsibilities force them in another. So do not immediately interpret their lack of action as proof that they feel nothing. Someone can care deeply and still choose silence because they are afraid of what would happen if they spoke honestly. They may think about conversations they will never actually have. Imagine what life could look like under different circumstances, or wonder whether you feel the same intensity they do. At the same time, you may find yourself sensing their presence, questioning their mixed signals and wondering why the connection refuses to disappear. Whether you understand this through emotion, intuition, or simply the complexity of human attachment, the tension between you can feel very real. The difficult part is accepting that strong feelings do not automatically erase real-world boundaries. Love and circumstance can exist at the same time, and sometimes circumstance wins for a while. Perhaps they are protecting an existing commitment, avoiding consequences, or simply lacking the courage to confront everything their feelings would require them to change. They may be holding everything inside because silence feels safer than creating chaos. But suppressed emotion does not necessarily disappear. It can become heavier when it is continually pushed down. That is why this connection may feel unresolved. Still, do not let the mystery consume you. Their inner struggle belongs to them, and you deserve clarity rather than endless uncertainty. Whatever they feel, remember that your worth does not depend on whether they eventually act on it. Sometimes the deepest lesson of a forbidden connection is not about finally possessing the person you desire, but about recognizing what the connection awakened within you and understanding what your own heart truly wants. Does this feel familiar to you? Can you sense that tension between you and the person who has been occupying your thoughts? If you feel comfortable, share your experience in the comments and write, "I trust the timing of my life." Tell us what you have been experiencing. Have you noticed the closeness followed by distance, the warmth followed by silence? Sometimes simply realizing that other people are walking through similar emotional experiences can make the journey feel less isolating. And most importantly, understanding that this person may be wrestling with their own emotions can help you stop turning that struggle inward. You do not need to keep asking yourself what you did wrong, why they are not choosing you, or whether you somehow lack something they need. Their uncertainty does not determine your value. You are already enough. Their hesitation may have far more to do with what this connection forces them to confront within themselves than anything lacking in you. So breathe. Let go of the urge to control the outcome. Stop trying to decode every silence and every change in their behavior. Whatever they need to face, that journey belongs to them. You cannot carry it on their behalf. Your responsibility is to remain grounded in your own life, protect your peace, and allow whatever is meant to unfold to reveal itself naturally. The question now is not only why they remain silent, but why this powerful connection entered your life at all. If you have ever wondered why someone could appear at exactly the wrong time, why you could meet a person who awakens so much inside you when circumstances make being together difficult, there is a deeper perspective worth considering. Perhaps the purpose was never simply to give you a conventional relationship. The second truth may be difficult to accept, but it can also bring tremendous freedom. Some powerful connections arrive to transform us, rather than become permanent relationships in the traditional sense. We are conditioned to measure love by outcomes. We imagine commitment, a shared home, a public relationship, and a future together. And when those things do not happen, we assume the connection must have been meaningless. But personal growth does not always follow the plans we create. Sometimes another person enters your life because their presence is meant to wake up something inside you that had been dormant. Before meeting them, perhaps you were simply moving through familiar routines. You knew what your life looked like, you understood your responsibilities, and you had become comfortable with the person you believed yourself to be. Then this individual appeared, and suddenly your inner world shifted. They did not simply attract your attention, they challenged the way you understood yourself. They became a catalyst for change. Their presence may have reminded you of dreams you abandoned, passions you buried, freedom you stopped allowing yourself to experience, or emotions you learned to suppress. And the transformation may not be one-sided. You may have entered their life for a similar reason. In some way, the two of you can become mirrors for each other, revealing qualities, desires, fears, and possibilities that had remained hidden. Looking at them may show you not only what you want in another person, but what you have been missing within yourself. That may also explain why the connection feels much larger than the amount of time you have actually spent together. Perhaps you never had a conventional relationship. Maybe there was never a kiss, never a confession, or never even an opportunity to openly express what was happening between you. Yet the emotional impact can still be profound. You do not need a public label to recognize that someone changed the direction of your inner life. Since meeting them, perhaps you have become more reflective. Maybe you began paying attention to your emotions instead of avoiding them. Perhaps your interests changed, your creativity returned, or you started questioning choices you once accepted without thought. Their presence may have encouraged you to become more honest about what you truly want, and you may have done something similar for them. They could now be questioning whether the life they built genuinely reflects who they are, or whether they have spent too long fulfilling expectations while ignoring their own feelings. That does not automatically mean they will leave their circumstances or choose a relationship with you. It means the encounter may have exposed truths that were already waiting beneath the surface. This is why you should not dismiss your experience simply because it did not develop into a traditional romance. The value of a connection cannot always be measured by whether it becomes permanent. Sometimes a person arrives, changes you, and leaves you with a clearer understanding of yourself. We often become fixated on the message, the meeting, the confession, or the final outcome, while overlooking the person we became through the experience. If you remove the fantasy of what might happen and look honestly at what this connection has already awakened in you, you may discover something incredibly meaningful. You are more alive, more conscious, and more connected to your authentic self than you were before. That sense of unfinished emotion may remain because there are still lessons unfolding, and the next part of the journey is understanding what those lessons are asking you to become. The beginning of this story may not be about getting together with someone. It may be about bringing a forgotten part of yourself back to life. That is why releasing this connection can feel so difficult. You may think you are holding on to a person, but perhaps what you are really protecting is the version of yourself that awakened because of them. When circumstances make a connection impossible, the usual distractions of romance disappear. There may be no ordinary dates, no simple routines, and no comfortable relationship to hide behind. Instead, you are left with feelings, silence, intuition, and everything happening inside your own heart. That can make the emotional bond feel incredibly intense. You begin paying attention to things you might normally overlook. You notice your reactions, your fears, your desires, and the parts of yourself you have kept buried. This kind of connection can force you to ask difficult questions. What does love actually mean to me? What do I truly want? Am I willing to be honest about my feelings? Am I courageous enough to live as my authentic self? Those questions can be frightening, and perhaps the person on the other side of this connection is struggling with the same kind of confrontation. When someone becomes a mirror, they do not only show us what we want, they can also reveal everything we have been avoiding. They may see a possibility for happiness that challenges the life they have become comfortable with, and that possibility can make them retreat rather than move closer. They may become quiet, distant, or difficult to understand, but distance does not erase what the encounter has already changed. Once something inside you has awakened, you cannot simply return to the person you were before. The same may be true for them. Whether this connection eventually becomes a relationship or remains a powerful chapter in both your lives, something has already shifted. Think about what this person has awakened in you. Maybe you have learned to be more patient. Maybe you have discovered that you deserve deeper honesty, greater emotional fulfillment, or a life that feels more authentic. Perhaps you have become more reflective and spiritually aware. Whatever the change has been, recognize it instead of focusing only on what you have lost. If this message speaks to you, share the affirmation, "I am growing through this love." Let that statement remind you that pain can still contain a lesson. When you recognize what an experience is teaching you, you stop seeing yourself only as someone caught in circumstances and begin seeing yourself as someone who is learning through them. Do not measure the significance of this connection only by how many hours you spend together or how often you speak. Consider how much it has expanded your capacity to feel, question, dream, and understand yourself. Many people move through life without ever experiencing emotions this intense, and although intensity can hurt, it can also remind you that your heart is still open. Perhaps this person is not here to become something you possess. Perhaps they are here to teach you something about becoming more fully yourself. Love is not always something we obtain from another person. Sometimes it becomes something we embody through the way we grow. And as you become more grounded and authentic, the way you relate to this person can change as well. You no longer need to chase, convince, or force an outcome. You simply allow your own growth to speak for itself. Instead of treating every obstacle as proof that the connection is being rejected, consider that some barriers may simply be asking for patience, clarity, and maturity. A powerful relationship requires more than strong emotion. It requires two people capable of handling the consequences of acting on that emotion. Maybe this period of uncertainty is giving both of you time to develop that strength. But there is another question you may have been carrying for a long time. Why can you not simply let this person go? You may have tried everything. You may have told yourself repeatedly that you need to move forward. You may have deleted messages, removed their number, avoided reminders, or tried to convince yourself that the entire experience meant nothing. Friends may have offered simple advice, telling you that if someone truly wanted to be with you, they would make it happen. From a purely logical perspective, walking away may seem like the obvious answer, yet something inside you refuses to close the door completely. This is where the experience becomes difficult to explain. Human relationships often follow recognizable patterns. People meet, become closer, decide whether they want a relationship, and eventually either build something together or separate. But not every emotional connection fits neatly into that sequence. Sometimes someone affects you in a way that continues long after physical contact has disappeared. That does not necessarily mean you should interpret every thought or coincidence as proof of destiny. It may simply mean the emotional experience has not been fully processed yet. When something remains unresolved, the mind naturally returns to it, searching for meaning and closure. You may go several days feeling completely free, only to suddenly hear a familiar song, have an unexpected dream, remember a small detail, or see something that brings the person rushing back into your thoughts. The return can feel almost overwhelming because the story never received a clear ending. The deeper lesson may not be that you are required to wait forever for this person, but that there is something within you that still needs to be understood, accepted, or released. An unfinished chapter continues demanding attention until you discover what it came to teach you. And sometimes the resolution you are searching for does not come from another person at all. It comes from finally understanding yourself. Some chapters remain open because our minds are still searching for meaning, and that may be why this connection keeps returning to your thoughts. You may feel a sudden need to check on them, a wave of emotion that seems to arrive without warning, or an unexpected memory that brings everything back. It can leave you feeling caught between two worlds. You are not truly together, yet you cannot completely convince yourself that you are strangers either. That uncertain middle ground can be exhausting, but perhaps this period is not as empty as it appears. Think of a seed beneath the soil. From the surface, nothing seems to be happening, yet beneath the darkness, roots are developing and preparing for what comes next. Your situation may feel similar. What looks like stillness can become a period of reflection, growth, and change. And this is where time becomes important. We live in a culture that teaches us to expect immediate answers. We send a message and wait for a response. We want clarity immediately. We want love to make sense right away. But people do not transform according to our preferred schedule. Fear, responsibility, insecurity, and uncertainty can keep someone frozen for a very long time. The person you are thinking about may be protecting the life they already know because changing it feels frightening. They may be hiding behind obligations, expectations, career demands, family circumstances, or doubts about themselves. Fear can make an obvious possibility look impossible, yet people evolve. The person someone is today may not be the person they become months or years from now. Circumstances change, priorities shift, and eventually people can realize that the life they built around expectations no longer feels authentic. Sometimes we make choices because we believe we should, only to discover later that those choices do not reflect who we have become. That realization cannot be forced by another person. It has to come from within, This is why chasing, pressuring, or trying to convince someone rarely creates the kind of transformation you want. Growth requires personal choice. Think about a butterfly emerging from its cocoon. The struggle itself helps develop the strength it needs to survive. In the same way, someone who is afraid may need to work through that fear without you doing the work for them. Your role is not to rescue them from their decisions. Your role is to continue living your own life. Surrender does not mean abandoning hope or pretending you do not care. It means releasing your need to control the result. You can acknowledge your feelings without allowing those feelings to stop your life. You can say, I care about this person. I miss them. I wish things were different right now, and yet I accept what is true today. Acceptance creates space for peace. Resistance often creates more suffering. And we should also be honest. Sometimes people never find the courage to change. Some choose familiarity and security even when another path might make them happier. If that happens, it does not mean your experience was worthless. What mattered was what the experience revealed about you. It may have opened your heart, challenged your beliefs, and shown you what you genuinely desire. So instead of desperately searching for signs or trying to force an ending, allow the situation to unfold while continuing to build a meaningful life for yourself. If you believe in timing, let that belief become peaceful rather than obsessive. Say, I trust the timing of my life. Let that affirmation remind you that you do not need to know the ending today. Whatever happens, you are still capable of moving forward with dignity and love. And now we come to the question that may have kept you awake more than anything else. Will this person ever step forward? No one can promise you what another person will choose. If this connection is ever going to become a real, openly lived relationship, it will require something very important. Honesty must eventually become stronger than fear. The person involved would have to decide that continuing to hide is more painful than facing the consequences of change. Until that happens, the connection may remain unresolved. But while you wonder about their future decision, do not lose yourself in the process. On the nights when you question your value, remember this. Their absence is not evidence that you are insignificant. Their hesitation does not prove that you are a mistake, an inconvenience, or something temporary. You do not need another person's decision to establish your worth. Perhaps this encounter has shown both of you emotions that had been buried for years. Perhaps it challenged assumptions. This part of the message is asking you to stop focusing entirely on what the other person may or may not do, and turn your attention back toward yourself. When someone enters your life and creates powerful emotions, it is easy to become consumed by questions such as, will they come back? Do they feel the same? Will we ever be together? But those questions can make you forget the most important person in the situation, you. The connection may have revealed things about you that were hidden before. It may have shown you that you want more honesty, emotional depth, freedom, passion, or genuine connection than you once allowed yourself to admit. It may also have exposed fears you need to work through, such as the fear of rejection, abandonment, uncertainty, or being vulnerable. That is why the other person can be described as a mirror. Sometimes another person does not simply enter our lives to give us love. They reveal parts of ourselves that we had ignored. They can make us question old beliefs and recognize that certain choices we once accepted may no longer fit the person we are becoming. This is where the idea of transformation becomes important. Even if the relationship never becomes official, the experience can still have lasting value if it encourages you to understand yourself more clearly. You may have discovered that you are capable of feeling deeply, caring sincerely, and opening your heart even when there is no guarantee of an outcome. That does not make you weak. Vulnerability means allowing yourself to experience something honestly while still maintaining your dignity and boundaries. The goal is not to lose yourself in another person, but to become more aware of who you are because of what the experience awakened within you. There are two possible ways this story can unfold, and neither one should determine your worth. Perhaps circumstances eventually change, and the two of you find a way to build something real and healthy together. Or perhaps the connection remains a meaningful chapter that changes you without becoming a traditional relationship. Both possibilities can hold meaning because the value of an experience is not measured only by whether you get the ending you originally wanted. Sometimes a person changes the direction of your life without remaining in it permanently. They may teach you what you want, what you will no longer accept, what kind of love feels authentic to you, and what parts of yourself need greater attention. Instead of seeing yourself as someone trapped by an impossible love, you can begin seeing yourself as someone who grew through a difficult emotional experience. You are not powerless simply because you cannot control another person's choices. Your power comes from deciding what you do with what you have learned. You can carry the lessons forward into your future relationships, your personal goals, and the way you treat yourself. You can appreciate what the connection awakened without allowing uncertainty to control your life. And if this message feels connected to your own experience, the affirmation, "I trust the timing of my life," represents more than simply waiting for another person. It means trusting yourself enough to continue living while the future remains unknown. Share your experience with others who may understand what you are going through, because complicated emotions can feel very lonely when kept hidden. Supporting one another can remind you that uncertainty does not mean you are broken or alone. And if you found comfort or insight in this message, supporting Jungian Horizon through a like, subscription, or notification helps create a space where people can openly explore the difficult, emotional, and deeply human parts of their lives.